Probably should have posted about it like 5-10 minutes ago. Joys of just like first time thing.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
All right, post a thing. So, sorry, do a comment. I can try and make you a mod. Oh, okay. Just message. All right. Right. And add moderator. There. Cool. Yay. Okay. All right. We've got 2 people. 4 people. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just excited and nervous. Feel free to put anything in the comments if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Hi! Hello. Chat here. Okay. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you love my comics. Don't mind me, it's 8 in the morning, so I have to drink my tea so I can stay awake and alert. Oh, I'm so glad people are coming in. Looks like chat is working, and it seems like people can hear. Oh, thank you. You're cool too. Pardon the quality. I'm literally just using the webcam and microphone for from my own laptop because honestly, like, I was thinking of this. Sorry, I'm just gonna adjust slightly. I was thinking of this just being like a one-time thing, and then I started thinking more of, hey, let's maybe if I enjoy doing this live stream, I make it a more regular thing. It's just like sort of at different times because I've had several people being like, oh man, I can't. Yes, Avatar shirt, Earth Kingdom military. But yeah, I've had some fans be like, "Oh, I'd love to make it to your live stream, but it's like 2 a.m. for me, and I can't. So I need to." It's like 2 a.m. for me. Oh, geez, echo. But yeah, I need to do different live streams at different times, so people in other parts of the world can join in. So, I've just been doing thoughts of, hey, maybe do live streams more often, like make it more of a regular thing. I'm glad you love my comic. Yeah, I read a lot of people say that it's relatable, which honestly is such a great compliment because it's just sort of like, oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. Again, this is my first time. When people comment, I should say who commented. Again, first time. But yeah, basically, that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one who goes through this. It's always such a good and validating feeling, But I'm glad that my comic can be that for people, just sort of like, hey, this is something I go through. You're not the only one. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, I'm just really happy, like doing this. How did I learn to draw? Basically at about 4 years old. What? Oh, Shimmer, yes. How did you learn to draw? Basically around 4 years old, I picked up a crayon and just went. I would draw on anything and everything. I'm in China. World Finance. I'm in China. Yeah, I've been living here for the last 3 years. New Year's piggy. But yeah, is with drawing. I restarted the stream from the beginning, so I'm like a couple minutes behind feed. But hi, Mel H. But yeah, for I drew on anything and everything. I don't remember ever drawing on the walls, which was probably really good for my parents. But I draw on cardboard boxes, cereal boxes, construction paper. I would just draw and draw and draw. I was obsessed with drawing, and I just kept drawing for years. And I never took any classes. Which is why I never learned how to do things like shading or proportions or anything like that. So maybe one day I can take a drawing class and learn that kind of special, important stuff. Kyojo M. I censored name. When was I diagnosed with autism? Technically, I was diagnosed with Asperger's at 17, which was 2003. Yeah. But yeah, okay, the Real Kingdom Housewife. OMG, it is such a pleasure to meet you. I am crazy about your work. Thank you. You're so encouraging. You're literally one of my favorite Instagrammers. Will you ever put out a book I'd love to purchase? I don't plan on living in China forever. I do want to move back to Canada. And when I move back to Canada, I'm hoping to publish my work. It's just here in Canada, here in China, it is, hi, Nikki. Sorry, childhood friend of mine. But when I move back to Canada, I want to get my comics published in a book. It's hard to do here in China because I'd have to either do it all online, like self-publishing online, and if I need to call for support, it's going to be a bit difficult. So it would be easier just do it in China. But yes, in Canada, oh my gosh, they both start with C. But yeah, when I move back to Canada, I'm going to be working on getting a book out. But yeah, as I was saying with my diagnosis, my diagnosis was fairly unconventional. We were not looking for it. Like my parent, I was put in a psych ward because I had been put on many medications. I had been misdiagnosed with bipolar, but that wasn't realized until many years later. But I was put in a psych ward to get me off of all those medications, and I was there for 2 weeks, and I was being watched. And when those 2 weeks were up, and we were heading out, like I was being discharged. Just before a discharge, I was sat down, and it was explained to me that you have Asperger's, which is now autism, of course. And at the time, I had no idea what Asperger's was. I had never even heard the word before. So my dad and I went online. And the internet wasn't what it is now, like back in 2003. So we only found limited information, but it was just like finding out, oh, I have Asperger's had no real effect on me because it's just like, oh, it just explains why I act this way. Okay, whatever. It wasn't until actually, like, honestly, while making this comic that I really realized just how much it affected my life. like how much I did masking and how a lot of my coping mechanisms were just stims, and that stimming is a coping mechanism, and just like figuring myself out. I honestly used my comic to really figure myself out. So yeah, Pond Snail, how does living in China affect your experience as an autist? How do they view neurodivergent people here? Okay, so mental illness is still kind of not as talked about openly here as it is in places like Canada. And so it's just sort of, while I'm open about it with my friends who are, from other parts of the world, I do my best while out in public to basically mask as hard as possible, because not being Chinese, I already have people staring at me. So, I need to basically act as normal as possible. So, I get stared at not more, But yeah, it's definitely like you. Okay, well, Tanos, YouTube wise, who are your inspirations? YouTube wise, when it comes to my comic or anything like that, I don't really have any inspirations, but there are YouTubers I like to watch. I'm a big fan of video essays and stuff like that, and been watching a lot of stuff about SCP Containment Breach. That game, just talking about all the SCPs and all the stories and all the lore. It's so fascinating. But the Real Kingdom Housewife, what made you move to China? Do you speak fluent Chinese? I wish. I do not know a lot of Chinese. I spend a lot of time with English speakers, so I know a tiny bit of Chinese, but not a lot. I moved to China because my partner got a really good job here. They're a teacher, and finding a job teaching in Canada is definitely not an easy task. But it's just sort of we came here because not only was it a good teaching job, but it was also a Canadian curriculum, which would benefit my partner when we move back to Canada, because it's like, here, I have experience teaching Canadian curriculum, so that's why we came here. Is also like with the low cost of living, it also means that we can save up money. Estelle, daylight savings started today? I don't know. I keep forgetting about daylight savings because it's not here in China. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat and I see my mother-in-law is on. Thank you for coming on. Oh, sorry. Yes, Sharon. Do you draw from your personal experiences? Yes and no. Some of my comics are very much based off of personal experiences, but some of them are based off of things I've read, things I've seen, or experiences that, if it happened to me, I can definitely know how I'd react. So not all of them are personal stories. Well, some of them are. Others are just like, this is something some autistic people go through. Not all of us, but definitely some of us. And yeah, so it's just sort of, I'm part of, I follow a lot of autistic pages on Facebook, whether it's support groups or just sort of autistic advocates themselves. And sometimes I'll get ideas with articles that are posted or something like that. Or, I get my ideas from many, many different places. But it's sort of like, if I can't imagine it happening to me, I don't think I'd be able to make it. So it's sort of like, well, not all the comics are based off personal experiences. They're definitely about situations I can definitely see myself going through. Okay, Portal Leveler. Which comic are you most proud of? Oh gosh. That's a toughie. Like, I'm trying to think of my comics, and now that I'm put on the spot, I can't remember any. Probably. Oh, I'm trying to think. There's a couple. I do like the one where it's talking about how, like, for so long, things like sci-fi and gaming and being autistic was all about the boys. It was all boys. It's always about boys. So I'm proud of just that one, just because it's something that I went through a lot. Because, growing up, I was really into like video games and sci-fi and fantasy and stuff like that. And I had a pretty small group of friends just because I was, a girl who liked nerdy things. So it was sort of like the popular kids hated me because of it, and I was not accepted by guys because of it. And so it was like it had always been something like, you're not allowed in this group because you're the wrong gender. And it had always been something that stuck with me. And then it's just sort of like, oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but it's just sort of like, it just always stuck with me. So but yes, is Kaifanis, their favorite. Kaifanis is Maud, but also my partner. Their favorite was always the one of my very early ones, called Muffin Math. Is basically talking about the situations where it's sort of like there are times I can do math in my head like that. And then there are times that I forget what numbers are. And so it's just one of those, like, somebody is like, hey, could you help me with this math? And it's just like, 1 + 1 = muffin. And it's just sort of like, oh, just all out of my head. Well, Finos, your art style reminds me of a tiny bit of Rebecca Parham or Let Me Explain Studios on YouTube. I'll have to check those out. I haven't seen that. Yeah. Okay, Shimmer, do you have issues with empathy, hyperempathy? I don't mean to be rude or think. Oh, no. You're not being rude, Shimmer. For me, empathy is it's either really on or it's really off. There's no in between for me. Is there times where I can feel like, if I read a new story or hear something, or somebody I know goes through something, and it hits me hard because I feel it. And it is, it can be too much. But then there are times where it's just somebody will go through something and I just feel no empathy. I do feel compassion. And, that's one thing that some people don't seem to understand, is just because somebody doesn't feel empathy doesn't mean that they don't feel compassion. So I could say I don't always feel empathy, but I always feel compassion. But yeah, is there a time for me? It's either dialed up to 11 or my empathy is just at 0. It's never in between. Mel H, I have 2 Canadian friends who also moved to China to teach. They've been there for years now. Yeah, we planned on staying for like 2 years. We're now in our 4th. Kirijo M. What are you a fan of? I myself am a fan of Sailor Moon, Kipo Aja Wanda Beefs, and Fever 333. I've never heard of that one. I am a fan of a lot of things, especially cartoons. Right now I'm watching the Tales of Arcadia series. We watched Troll Hunters. We're currently in watching 3 Below, and then we'll get to watching Wizards. But also Dragon Prince, Kipo, of course, as you said. Sailor Moon was my hyperfixation for years. Like, my mom used to joke that she had 5 kids, my 3 siblings, and Sailor Moon, because she was a part of the family. I was just so obsessed with her. But yeah, Fever 333 is a punk band. Cool, I'll have to check it out. But yeah, I'm big fan of a lot of shows. Just when I'm on the spot, I can't think of all of them. But yeah, just trying to think of other shows. I really got into Once Upon a Time until it ended. Oh, geez. Nothing hurts more than when a show you're hyperfixated with ends. She-Ra, the new She-Ra was another hyperfixation. And it's just like your hyperfixation leaves and you just cling on to it as hard as possible. It's like, no, I don't know who I am without you. You know, and especially like with us, where we are, quarantine started late January. So it's just my hyperfixation just amped up because it was coping. And so it was like my obsessions became super obsessions. And so it was just sort of like I tried to absorb every ounce of content I could. Estelle, are you still in quarantine? No. Like the yes, Nikki, Final Fantasy VII. I was a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII. Still am. I have not finished the remake yet because the battle system stresses me out like nobody's business. Anyways, Estelle, there are still precautions and security measures that are up. Especially right now because it's the Moon Festival and people are traveling around. So security measures went up. But we'll see what happens when all of that is over. So I would say quarantine, not really, but there are still certain things in place. Thankfully, where I live, our city wasn't hit too hard, thankfully. Oh. Since Nikki brought up oh, well, Finos, dude, can I say your positivity is infectious, semi-relatable? Thank you. I try to stay positive. I try my best to be an optimist. Shimmer, what tea is that? This is English breakfast. It is one of like getting English tea. That is way too much light. My partner just opened the blinds to see more light, and oh my gosh, I shone like an angel. But yeah, the Real Kingdom Housewife. What do you like most about living in China, and what do you like least about living in China? Most. What do I like most? Right now, I'd say like China. I knew what you meant. It's okay. But yeah, is best probably the people I've met, because there's a lot of international schools in this city. And so you get a lot of people from all around the world. And one thing about living as an expat is like you make friends with people easily. Like it's like a much quicker connection because most of the population you can't really connect with because don't speak the language. So it's almost like you bump into someone, they speak English, they're suddenly your best friend. It's just that's how it is. So, but I've met such amazing people, both from around the world and from China. You know, one of the least things I like about living in China, probably the water and the air. You can't drink the tap water, and there are days you have to wear a pollution mask because water and air have pollution issues. Also, just knowing that there are people who believe you don't belong here. If you're not Chinese, there are going to be some people who believe you don't belong here, and it is it can be tough. Just people are staring at you like you have three heads. So yeah. Kirjo, have you seen Loop, a Pixar short film on Disney? I have heard of it. I have not seen it. I do need to see it. But yeah, earlier Nikki brought up video games about yeah, well, Finos, that's basically you don't belong here in China. Well, boo-hoo. I'm here anyways. But yeah, with video games, as a kid, I played a lot of video games. But I loved Chrono Trigger. I loved, Final Fantasy 4 and 6. Back then, they were known as 2 and 3. Loved Earthbound. Oh my goodness. But that was, back in the day where grinding was very normal. It was very, JRPG-ish. But yeah, Shimmer, yeah, I get not belonging. My classmates had some words to say about me when I was younger. Same. I believe that is a common experience among autistic people. Actually, just people in general. Kids are awful sometimes. Like, not gonna lie. Estelle, in Canada, have you found that you make friends quickly too? I mean, not everyone you meet, but do you sometimes get the idea when you meet someone that this person will be a close friend? No, actually, I had trouble making friends in Canada. Like, essentially, the only way I really made friends at first was to meet someone through someone. Is I would have like a couple childhood friends that as a kid, it was easy for me to make friends. But as like I grew older, it became harder and harder. And so it was basically like I just met people through people I had already met. And so it just became a chain, It's like I could see you. I could I had one childhood friend. Oh, yep, gotta. Here's Cora. He's our flu. But yeah, is basically in Canada. I'd have, it's basically the only way I made friends was meeting them through someone else. It's basically like I was the introverted person who would like leech onto an extrovert and then just make friends through them. The Real Kingdom Housewife, when you lived in Canada, did you have any pets? Yes, I did. I had Ichabod, and I got Ichabod and Roxy, who sadly had passed away from old age because I got them like earlier on in life, and so they passed away. But while here in China, they were under great care. My cousin took care of them, and she's a wonderful person and just spoiled them rotten. So, and then there's my partner's cat, who is, I guess, my step cat, Kai, who's still kicking. He's in Canada though. But yes, well, Fenos, yes. Partner Sama reveal, Nani, yes. Yes. Kirjo, what was your earliest special interest / fixation? Mine was Digimon. Mine, I believe, was Ariel the Mermaid. I think it was her first. It's like, I can't remember if it was Ariel or Jessica Rabbit, but I believe it was Ariel. I'd have to ask my mom, actually. But, you know, oh no, Kirjo, did the live stream get stuck? The only thing I can suggest is maybe reload. But yeah, is my earliest fixation, I believe, was Ariel the Mermaid. I loved that movie, except the scene where King Triton gets mad at Ariel and blows up all of her stuff. I actually had to leave the room for that scene because it always scared me, because anger is an emotion my brain doesn't fully comprehend, and so it scared me. But yeah, on that note, yeah, is I don't know, for some reason is just you guys get really cool hyperfixations. I got the Weather Channel. Weather is fascinating. Also, like, if you get hyperfixated with weather, you can get a pretty good job as a weather person. Like, I've heard that pays well. Never knock your own hyperfixations. So yeah. But yeah, is honestly, yeah, you can't control your own hyperfixations. All you can do is sort of embrace them. But yeah, don't knock your own hyperfixations, so long as they're not something illegal. But I guess that depends on where you live. Okay. Aaron Graham, you said you really like She-Ra. Entrapta is autistic, yes. Do you think the creators of the show portray an autistic character correctly? I know that when writing Entrapta and her story, the writers did talk to one of the character designers, Ray, who is autistic. I do believe she was portrayed correctly, but one thing that they also portrayed correctly that I don't think they meant to was the ableism that was, you know, directed towards her, because there were times she was put on a leash. There were times her hair was pulled, and there were times she was yelled at because she didn't understand what was going on, because social situations confused her. And I don't know if the creators purposely did that to show ableism that, you know, autistic people do face, how people like us can be infantilized. So that's one of the things where, was it that they were portraying ableism and purposely doing it, or was that the creators' ableism showing through their work? So that's one thing. But yeah, I love Entrapta. Oh my gosh. I watched the first episode with her, and I'm like, well, there's my favorite character. And it was later I found out that she is canon autistic, and I'm just like, well, okay, that's why I love her. Okay, I have answers. Shimmer, I was 4, and it was interesting to have a hyperfixation on Weather Channel when most of my classmates like Blue's Clues or whatever. I can understand why some people, may find that weird, but hey, I think it's cool. There's a while I was really into, planets and stuff like that, and it's just honestly, weather is fascinating. Estelle, yes, you need to watch She-Ra. Estelle, my first fixation was pandas. Aww. I had several books when I was maybe 4, and later made up a game that my younger brothers and I played. That sounds adorable and amazing. Pandas are very cute. They are also very, very lazy. Well, Fenos, not much autist representation. My first rep I saw was like Spencer Reid from Criminal Minds. I never watched Criminal Minds, but I have, when some people have asked on support groups, hey, what are some good autistic representations? I have some people seen that name before. Kirjo, my current special interests are Loop, Teeny Tiny V's, he his house. Oh, a finished picture book. That's why I'm having trouble pronouncing it. Fever 33 and The Pumpkin Who Couldn't Smile. I haven't heard of any of those. I'll have to look them up. Yeah, my current hyperfixation is the Tales of Arcadia series. I've Kajira, yes, and of course autism. Autism has become a hyperfixation of mine as well, because it. Oh my gosh! Like just starting my comic, it's just so much I have learned. Like about autism, about myself, it has become a hyperfixation. It's just I even did like a comic about it, and it's just like person's like, I love making new friends. What do you want to talk about? And I'm just like about to smack them in the face with autism facts. Because oh my gosh, I can talk about autism for hours. um, yeah. Um, Holly Stewart, hey there, hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great day too, or night, depending on what time it is for you. I hope you have a great existence. But yeah, is autism has just become such a hyperfixation, because not only is it my comic, but also learning more about it to get more ideas about autism and about, again, learning more about myself. And honestly, it was by learning more about autism that I realized I was actually misdiagnosed as bipolar, because bipolar does run in my family, but so does autism. Okay, so story time. Before moving to China, I was on 2 medications for bipolar, and essentially coming to China, it was like, okay, we don't know what medications are allowed here in China. So, with the help of a doctor, I was slowly weaned off that medication. And my partner and I were like, okay, we shall see what happens. We'll just, see what happens, wait for the other shoe to drop. And when, I need to be put back on medication, we will go to a doctor, we'll see what we can do. The thing is, it never happened. Like, nothing bad happened. Like, basically, we started setting up some like coping mechanisms for me to figure out, oh, it's okay. Like, we'll figure it out. But yeah, it's just sort of like nothing happened. No bad effects happened. I was taking off my medication, no negative side effects, and like it's like the bipolar symptoms never came. And it wasn't until starting to research autism that I found out that bipolar is actually a common misdiagnosis for autistic, people assigned female at birth. So I'm just like, suddenly it's like my brain exploded. And it's like all of these answers came swarming in. And all of these questions started swarming in. And it was such a realization. And oh my gosh, like it was like I had, just absolute mind blown. Sorry, I'm just reading comments. Bipolar medication. Oh, geez, what was I on? I was on
Lamictal.
Lamictal, also known as lamotrigine, and I was on citalopram. There we go. Lamotrigine and citalopram. That's what I was on. Fennos, hyperfixation, keeping up with politics, but it's not a hyperfixation. Mostly I've just been keeping up because Canada's neighbor to the south is making noise, and it's been affecting Canada, so I need to keep up to date. History is always fascinating. YouTube, always good, and autism, and being ace. I myself am demisexual, so sort of under the ace umbrella. Kajiro, yeah, we should start an info dump club. Yeah, that would be cool. Just all of us, just like facts. That'd be fun. But yeah, yeah. Oh, Estelle, I meant medication for bipolar was what the story was about. Yes, sorry. But yeah, I was taken off of medication that was for bipolar. I don't really take medication for anything else, although I do take omega-3 capsules, but that's mostly to help me focus. Yeah. Yeah. Welt Finos. Whoa, video outputs looking trippy. Ooh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, Michael, I'm lucky since I don't get the anxiety thing big time. I do. I have issues with anxiety, and I'm actually going to be talking to my doctor. Just because it's started to become an issue, especially like when quarantine hit, and then in like July we had an earthquake, and it's just things just kept piling up. My anxiety and paranoia just skyrocketed, and I need my doctor to be put on probably anti-anxiety meds because it has been a time. It has been interesting. Michael, they did try with fluoxetine/Prozac. I was put on Prozac juice. So I had orange juice every day, and I was not sick the entire time. But yeah. It's just honestly the only person who wants to talk to their doctor. For anxiety meds, honestly, I have a feeling that the taking of anxiety meds went up a lot this year. Michael, it's a journey, isn't it? A trip in the real sense. Oh my gosh. Yes. So as I was saying like earlier, how I was put on a bunch of different medications and I was put in the psych ward to get off of them. That's when I was diagnosed Asperger's. I had a psychiatrist who came so highly recommended for children who are bipolar, and I don't know why. Because this woman, it was, here, let's put you on this medication. Oh, it doesn't work anymore? Let's up the dose. Oh, it doesn't work anymore? Let's up the dose. Doesn't work anymore? Let's up the dose. And I was put on the legal limit of several, I'm talking like 5 or 6 different medications, to the point where I was like shaking. all the time. And my mom was just, so it was just, my mom was absolutely floored because she's like, this doctor came so highly recommended and she did nothing good. And it's just like, I understand that no one back then knew I was missing AFAB people who are autistic, and how bipolar ran in my family. It's
Connected, maybe?
okay.
You may have to restart the stream.
Oh, that would suck. Okay. Let us see what happens. Load faster. Come on. Yeah. On. Okay. Let's see if this works. Okay.
There, it's
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's not your computer, Kajiro. It was the stream. Okay. So that was the stream. Your computers are fine. Okay. So, yes, because we're in China, we have to use a VPN to use with gender identity and autistic people. Is autistic people are way more likely when moving here to China, like is basically when I move back to Canada, I don't know if I'll still use she, her pronouns, or if I'll be more openly non-binary.
Restart the whole stream.
Okay.
Just to.
Well, it's almost been an hour.
Okay.
And I was figuring this would be about an hour, so I'm just going to try this. Let's see if that worked. I'm sorry about this, everyone. It's there we go. Okay. Our friend told us, hey, I've been using this VPN and it works for coming. It means so much to me. And regardless, was it Piscorio? Regardless, this has been fun and informative, and thanks for your posts and comics. Thank you for coming. Yeah, sorry. Bad pronunciation of your name. But yeah, I was honestly really nervous about this. I have been so nervous about this, and I'm so glad it went so well. Oh, you were laughing at Michael's pun. Yes. But yeah, it's just sort of I had fun doing this. I enjoyed it, so I think I am going to make it more of a regular thing. What I want to do is I'm thinking of maybe doing if it goes well, do live streams every week. I was thinking of doing live streams every weekend but do them at different times. Like right now, I started mine at 8 a.m. Sunday, and I'm thinking of doing it the next one 8 p.m. Saturday. So it's 12 hours different, and so that way, people who are asleep right now can watch some of the live streams. So it's like one weekend it'll be 8 a.m. Chinese time on Sunday, and the next weekend it'll be 8 p.m. Saturday Chinese time, and then just back and forth. Michael, it's 2 a.m. where you are. I am thankful that you're awake, but I'm happy you made it, but maybe you should get some sleep, unless this is your regular sleep time. There are people I have friends who are night owls. I'm glad you've enjoyed my live stream. Michael, you might be a bit more successful with Great Firewall if Twitch isn't blocked, maybe. I don't know if Twitch is blocked.
Yeah, Twitch is blocked. We
Okay.
also have to.
Yeah, Twitch is also blocked. Oh my gosh, people, it's so early where you are. By 10. Churrito. Sup, recently discovered your comics, but I'm slightly late to the stream. Don't worry, I will be posting a video, like I will be posting it publicly. But yeah, Shimmer and Aaron, yeah, it's 8 p.m. where you are, yeah. But yeah, have you heard of Picarto? Not sure if that'd be any better. It's sometimes worse. I'll have to look it up. Okay. Churrito, it's time to ask the question I always ask. This is a lunch, and there were 1 or 2 children who would pick off pineapple and eat everything else yet. Anyways, so I'm going to bring an end to the stream. So thank you all. Oh, Mel, my answer for pineapple belongs on pizza. However, it depends on what else is on the pizza. If it's ham and pineapple for Hawaiian, yes, it belongs on the pizza. However, if you're having something where pineapple would not be very complimentary, then no. It all depends on what is on the pizza. Anyways, so thank you all for coming. I had a blast. So yeah, I think I'm going to do this again. And I will, of course, post this publicly, and when the next live stream is, I will be public about it and tell people about it. So, yeah, I will be making more live streams in the future. Thank you for coming. Bye. Yes.